Jack? Jack, what's wrong? What's wrong? Jack, please, I need you to calm down. Can you please calm down? Jack, please tell me, what is it? Jack, no, you can't do that, Jack. Calm down. Tell me what's wrong.
Diagnosis is a movie about a mother learning how to evolve as a parent and how to continue to be the best mother she can be in the face of her son's autism diagnosis. But fundamentally, it's about my mom. It's about my mom. And I've always had a very complicated relationship with my mother. It's been mostly very positive, but there's been a lot of low lights that I won't get into. And I think this entire movie, this entire project served as a thank you letter to her, as an apology to her for the things I've done, and just this ultimate culmination of what she means to me and how important she is to me.
Being on the set of Diagnosis was interesting to say the least, but in all good ways. It was pretty chaotic, but it almost felt like it should be. It kind of just felt like it was supposed to be that way, because if it ran so calmly and smoothly, it just wouldn't have felt that same, I wouldn't have felt that same kind of energy.
Jack has autism spectrum disorder.
What?
Jack has autism spectrum disorder.
What?
Dang, that was the best one, too!
What? She looked surprised, didn't she?
Yeah.
The product shows just the kind of people that were working a part of it.
My expectations for Diagnosis is I didn't have any expectations. It was my first role ever. I had just joined the website Backstage, and I saw this posting for a student film, and I was like, what better way to cut my teeth than with some other people who are also learning?
Well, after our last session, I'm ready to make a diagnosis. Jack has autism spectrum disorder.
What?
I got into character for Tanya, just honestly thinking about any hard things that I had to go through. And also talking to his mom. I didn't know it was based on a real person named Tanya until I actually met his mother. And her and I had a really good rap session one day when I came in to film. We hadn't even planned it, we just started talking, and she talked about everything that she went through when she received the diagnosis for Tanner, and the emotions that she went through, and her talking about how, she had doubts in herself, but then at the end of the day, it was about her son.
Diagnosis has received a lot of attention. It has been accepted into 9 film festivals from across the globe. It's won awards for Best Actress out of the Sparkle Collective Film Festival out of Los Angeles. It's won an award for Best Theme Film out of the Indo-Global International Film Festival, and that one's out of India. It's also won a Best Story Award out of the Picasso, Einstein, Buddha International Film Festival, and that festival is also out of India. Diagnosis has also received a lot of attention in the local media, the local press. I have been interviewed by St. Louis Magazine alongside my mother. I was featured on St. Louis on the Air. In October of 2019, I was featured on the Fox 2 News in a segment about diagnosis in relation to early intervention and autism diagnosis cases.
I believe Diagnosis received the response that it has is because how honest it is. Even though it's about someone who really went through this, it also talks about what every family is going through when they receive this type of diagnosis, or if they're in the beginning stages of realizing that their child is different. There's nothing wrong with your child, it's just they see the world differently and you have to adapt to that. I didn't know much about autism before the filming, and I did a lot of research in how many parents would cope with it. And having the little thing in there when she's researching what causes it, and the whole thing about the vaccinations, and him including the humor in it of him pointing and laughing like vaccinations don't cause it, and just the small things that he puts into the film. I think they pulled from his own life, and he just wanted to be honest with everything.
Why don't you try like this?
I don't think this film just speaks to people who have to deal with an autism diagnosis. I think this speaks to anyone who's going to find out that their kid is going to have a tougher time in life, whether it be because of autism, Down syndrome, muscular dystrophy, cancer, leukemia, anything. Dealing with a medical diagnosis of any type is incredibly difficult, and I think, while it's not an accurate one-to-one representation of every type of diagnosis, I think the general emotions, the feelings, the panic, what do I do? What am I supposed to do? Was it something I did wrong? I think that really resonates with a lot of people, because I think everyone has someone in their life, at least one person in their life who's dealing with some kind of serious, whether it be a disability or a disease, dealing with something serious like that, and the news of finding out, hey, you have this thing is difficult, not just on the person who gets it, but on the people who care about them.
As a film student, being a part of such a large project that's got such great publicity, I think it's great for the film as a whole and the story that it tells. It's such a hard story to describe in words, so the ability to get that in picture and show that to audiences and in a way that they can comprehend it and understand what the main character is going through in this world that they've been put in is great, and for people to then respect that and understand and grow their knowledge of of autism and how it affects people is a benefit for the overall society.
What it means to me to be a part of this, it's honestly, it's an honor. Tanner took a real chance on someone who he never met until the day that I auditioned. He didn't know anything about me. He didn't, I mean, I've done acting in the past, but I've never done a film before, and he took a big chance on that, and he's kind of ruined me for other projects that, and the fact that how professional he is on set, at least.
Then after a few moments, trains will be handed to you, and then you'll play with them. You'll wing them and play with them, okay?
And I'll smash them together as usual.
Yeah, you got it. Diagnosis having the success, what that means for me is, it means I must be doing something right. 2019 has been a very emotionally challenging, very emotionally difficult year for me. But throughout it all, we started filming Diagnosis in January, and this just 12-month journey has been absolutely insane. It means so much to me. I feel like Diagnosis is like, it's almost like it's my kid, and my kid just like got into the honor society or something. I feel such immense pride, I feel such immense joy, and I feel like, I helped, I helped grow this, I helped make it be this thing.
Is that okay with her covering him just unbuckle?
My favorite part of working on Diagnosis was seeing how touched Tanner was just by everything that happened with it. Seeing just his passion being put into it so fully was something that was actually really inspiring, and one of my favorite things about being a part of it. The success of Diagnosis is really surprising, and not in a way like, oh, I didn't think it would get this far. It's more like, wow, this is like hitting home a lot more than I expected it would. And it's getting a farther reach than I anticipated. It's something that I can feel proud of that I was a part of too, and it's nice to see something that has such a strong message really kind of showing like what it's supposed to be doing. It's really nice to see something so impactful actually getting somewhere.
Diagnosis is not just my movie. I know when you see it, when people in the press talk about it, they say it's a movie by Tanner Kraft, but no, it's not just my movie. It's also Logan Jordan's movie. It's also Laura Yancey's movie. It's also Rachel Everett's movie. It's also Joe Bovinglow's movie. It's also Manny Post's movie. It's Elliot Campbell's movie. It's Carla Tenbrook's movie. Every single person who worked on Diagnosis was critical to making it the thing that it is. I am so grateful and humbled by each and every one of those amazing, talented people that I am grateful that I can call my friends. It's not just my movie. It's not even just the cast and crew's movie. Anyone who feels a connection to this movie, who feels an emotional response to it, it's your movie too. It's all of our movies. That was cheesy as hell, but I wanted to say it.